What is going on, guys? We are back with another in-depth analysis of Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War multiplayer using Excel. In this video, we're going to be breaking down the SMGs. We're going to do every single one individually, look to see how many bullets it takes to kill at what distance, what their time to kill is at those distances, what their recoil pattern looks like, and finally, like a big comparison of all of them. I hope you guys enjoy this video. It took a lot of time to create, and let's just dive right on in. So in a past video, I already went through all of the assault rifles, and if you're interested in that, I will link it in the description and have it above me. So if if you want to learn more about Call of Duty, especially the assault rifles, go ahead and check that video out. But we're gonna get started here with the MP5. So something interesting about the submachine guns right away that was different from the assault rifles is that it has a time to kill drop at two separate distances. And that's because, so for example, in the MP5, it's a 5-shot to kill up to 10 meters, but then that drops down again to 7 shots to kill at 25 meters, causing the time to kill graph to look like this. That's different from the assault rifles. The assault rifles only had a drop one time, and then from then out, it was consistent. This is going to play a little bit more of an importance with attachments, I think. I think with your SMGs, you should really be aiming to boost the effective damage range for one reason, because it's very small. As you can see, the MP5 only has a 10.16 meter effective damage range before that first drop. Now, if you want to keep this consistent all the way out, then you would have to increase your effective damage range using one of the attachments. And I suggest you do that with whatever submachine gun you're using, just because you're going to avoid 2 drops instead of 1. And that's going to be huge whenever you're trying to battle it out against an assault rifle at a larger range. Alright, so the important thing to see here with the MP5 is it is a 5-shot to kill really up close, goes to 6 at 20 meters, and then to 7 at 25 meters. So with a base MP5, you really want to make sure that you're inside 20 meters with your engagements. And you can see it down here with the time to kill versus distance graph here. And you have an 11% increase of time to kill at 15 meters, and then again at 25 meters, like I said above. And then, so on the left side here, these are all the stats. You can see that, effective damage rate 10.16, damage is 32. I'm not going to go through every single one individually. If you would like to look at them yourself, you can hit pause and take a look. Alright, so I'm going to move on to the recoil pattern for the MP5. This is actually pretty controllable. I don't like the shape, this strange kind of S curve that we have here is going to be a little bit predictable with that horizontal recoil. So if you put an attachment on to lower the horizontal recoil, I think it's going to be a must here. But even with that being said, on the base MP5, you can see that we have, this is pretty tight, you know what I mean? Like the arrow is about the size of a person. And I did this from about 10 meters out, so it's not super, close up or really far away. It's, it's 10 meters out. But like I said, like this recoil pattern is pretty controllable. Like you pretty much only have to just hold down on the thumbstick a little bit, and it doesn't really sway too much to the right. So moving on to the Milano, or this is pretty much like a classic mini Uzi. I was pretty impressed with its its shots to kill up close, only 4 shots. That's pretty good, especially for an SMG. This then, goes from 4 to 5 at 15 meters, and then from 5 to 6 at 40 meters, making it a 14% increase to time to kill at 15 and 40 meters. Something I mentioned in the assault rifle video that I forgot to mention here is that whenever I calculate time to kill, I'm adding in the aim down sight speed. I think this is an important thing to do. I think it kind of balances out, makes a big difference between the assault rifles and the SMGs, is that aim down sight speed. You can also increase your time to kill, technically, by putting on attachments that increase your aim down sight speed. This is just something, that I added in to make movement part of time to kill so that, I can better do the analysis this way. Another reason is like nobody's holding down the left trigger walking around the map. So, you're going to have to aim in before you shoot anyway, so you might as well just add it into the time to kill. So, with that being said, you know, it's 4 shots to kill, but the fire rate is very slow on this gun, something I don't really like. And then another thing I don't like about this gun is this recoil pattern. It's very strange. I did this several times to make sure I wasn't missing something, and this is what it is. You have a tight cluster, and then that slow fire rate combined with this weird, awkward, you know, like northeast jump, you get this cluster here as well, and then it kind of pinged a shot out there. I'm assuming that's probably going to be like the next cluster if you had like a 100-round magazine in this thing for some reason. So, like I said, this first cluster here, that's fine. I have no issues with that. But if you're trying to, you know, you kill the first guy here and you're trying to aim over and knock out the second one, this second cluster is going to get you in trouble because you're going to end up missing all your shots because this awkward jump. Like I said, this is only from 10 meters out, so this is a pretty large gap as you increase your distance. So moving on to the AK-74, this is a favorite by myself and by a lot of people in the community. Only a 4-shot to kill up close, and that is with a very good fire rate of 697 rounds per minute. So this gun shreds, and you know we've always known that. Like we've been seeing, it's got a damage drop off at 10 meters to 5 shots instead of 4, and then at 20 from 4 shots instead of 6. 4 to 6 shots is a very big difference. So like I said, I would recommend using those effective damage range attachments, especially if you can see here by the graph. These are pretty large drops, 14% increase the time to kill at 10 meters and 20 meters. Another thing to note is that the time to kill is in reverse order, so whenever you go down, you are increasing your time to kill. I did this because you'll see it's a lot easier to visualize which gun is the best whenever you combine all of the time to kill graphs. So looking at the recoil pattern then for this gun, I don't love it, but I don't hate it. This is very manageable. You just have to know that it goes from left to right. So you would hold down your stick down left. Sorry, it's been a long day. Anyway, so you'd hold down your stick, your thumbstick down left, and you would end up with all your shots going right here. I like the consistency. I don't love this wide horizontal range. With that being said, with those attachments, the horizontal recoil really buckle it down, and then you would end up with just kind of like a smooth up and down pattern because of how consistent it is. Another reason why I really like this gun. Moving on to everybody's favorite gun, the KSP-45. Just kidding, this gun is trash. I don't know why anybody made a burst submachine gun. Anyways, gotta analyze it anyway. Maybe I find something that surprises me and I end up using it because it's good or something. Yeah. Anyway, very high damage at 50. This means it's a 1-burst kill. That's good. That is a very good thing. That's a positive for this guy. But that 1 burst, so I did this in bursts. It's technically like a 4-shot kill here, but just in terms of time to kill, I made it 3 and then go to 6, which would represent 1 burst going to 2 bursts. And like you can see here, it's a 40% increase to time to kill every single time you either have to use another burst because you're outside of its damage range, or every time you miss, you're adding nearly, what is that, like maybe a quarter second, a little bit more than a quarter second between every single burst, which is, like I said, you're going to dramatically increase your time to kill as you keep missing shots. Another thing to note is that it's going to be very difficult to hit all of your shots in 1 burst inside 10 meters, especially if you're in, a sweatier lobby with guys that are constantly jumping around and never like standing still. You're not going to hit all your bursts. A positive for this gun up close is that it has a very easy cluster. Like I said, it's a burst gun. They're normally more accurate. They're supposed to be like this. And inside 10 meters, you have this nice little cluster here. I'm not a fan of the KSP. But if for whatever reason you can hit your shots like no other and you're 1 bursting guys under 10 meters, this gun's a beast. Other than that, you might as well use something automatic up close. All right, moving on to the Bullfrog, another favorite SMG by a lot of people. So it is a 5-shot to kill. It's a little bit weaker gun. 5-shot to kill up close. Has a pretty decent fire rate of 750 rounds per minute though. Excuse me. And it has this strange effective damage range, where it just drops off very quickly. You know, it has a high effective damage range of 19 meters, but at 20 it's 6, and all of a sudden at 25 it's 7. So it is pretty much straight down. It's a 12% increase at 15, but then another 12% increase at 25, making the gap between 15 and 25 meters a 24% increase to time to kill. So, like I've been saying, if you're using this gun, make sure you use the effective damage range, because inside 20 meters, it shreds, which is great. That's fine. But outside that, you have this very large drop-off, and you're going to get picked off by somebody using an assault rifle very easily. So to compete with that, you know, the guns that are built for better distance on your SMGs, like I keep saying all video, use those effective damage range attachments. All right, moving on to the stats comparison between all of them. It's color-coded so that it's a little bit easier to see. Let's start at the top left corner and look at firepower. So like we said, the KSB, very high fire rate. It actually, very high damage. Also, surprisingly, a pretty good fire rate being a burst weapon, but like I said, you guys remember, every time you miss, the time to kill is going to increase dramatically because it's not very forgiving. Another gun that's not very forgiving is going to be the Milano because of this. Same thing, very low fire rate. So the kind of middle of the road as far as fire rate damage goes, it's probably the AK-74. The winner here is probably a toss-up between the Milano and the KSP, but like I keep saying, these guns aren't very forgiving, so it's going to be a lot harder to recover from missed shots if you do miss more shots, especially with those crazy recoil patterns of the Milano, as I mentioned before, and the KSP being a burst. That's kind of what cripples its firepower here. Moving on to speed, everything's pretty much exactly the same, except the AK-74U, the shoot moving speed is a little bit slower, same with the KSP, and the aim down sight speed is a little slower with the MP5. I think that was part of a nerf that came out in like one of the first weeks that this game got released. And then the Milano and the Bullfrog also have that slightly slower aim down sight speed. 25 milliseconds is hardly noticeable. But, I mean, hey, it could be the difference between one bullet being shot off and not being shot off. So it does make a difference there, but not a very large one. Moving on to accuracy, we're going to be looking at the recoil patterns too in the next tab. So kind of take this with like a grain of salt. The Bullfrog has the best accuracy by far, outside of maybe the KSP. This horizontal recoil on the KSP, though, is going to kill those bursts. It's going to make them kind of like jiggle all over the place instead of being like a nicer, clean, straight line. So that's going to be a lot more difficult to handle. Moving on, the MP5, Milano, AK-74U, they kind of all have similar recoil, mostly just the MP5 and the AK-74U. Milano, that vertical recoil control is the worst of the class, but like I said, horizontal is probably the one that you want to worry the most about. Moving on to ammo, most of the same except for the Bullfrog has that monster 50 round mag. That is going to be pretty important whenever you want to take down more guys, take down multiple guys at once. If you're jumping from one kill to the other, you don't want to be running around ammo, and this way you're not going to have to waste an attachment on your magazine if you choose to do so. You won't have to do that here with the Bullfrog compared to the other ones. You might have to put on either an extended mag or something that makes you reload faster on these other four. Moving on to the recoil patterns. Let me zoom back in actually. So like I said before, the MP5, pretty much straight up, this S-curve really isn't that bad. The Milano has a similar S-curve, but it has this weird bounce that I really don't like. The AK-74U and the Bullfrog are pretty much identical, except they're going in opposite directions. Ignore this top tail end on the Bullfrog here. Like we said before, it has a 50 round magazine, so it just kind of keeps kicking up after 30 rounds. I'd assume that 30 round would probably be here in this area, similar to how it was with the AK-74U. I think these are really pretty much exact opposites, this opposite directions. KSP, it's burst gun, you're gonna have tighter burst, but this kick out bullet here, I noticed that whenever I was doing the shot to kill test from different ranges, it was very hard to hit all three shots consistently at those higher ranges. I had to pretty much break it down by bullet and then go from there to get the data. It was very, very hard to kill, even with attachments on this gun, to get a full burst on target outside 25 meters. And finally, going to the time to kill graph. As you can see, early on, the KSP is the winner, but it's a burst gun. We're just going to kind of ignore it unless you like this gun, which, everybody has their own opinion. More power to you. If you're hitting shots with this gun, you're going to be shredding people faster than they can blink. But if you don't, well, like I said, it's not very forgiving, and you're end up down here or even lower. The third burst is actually down here past the 1 second mark. So moving on from that, AK-74U is the best up close. Then it kind of tapers off, and then everything, right here, AK-74U, KSP, and the MP5 are the same. So then, the third most up close, MP5. I'm really focusing on 20 meters. If you're in engagements outside 20 meters with an SMG, you're going to run into a lot of trouble. So I would focus more on the left side of the graph here, in my opinion. Then we have the Milano and then the Bullfrog at the bottom. That actually kind of surprised me. I thought the Bullfrog's time to kill is a lot faster than that. It might just be because it's a better accurate gun, and you're able to hit shots more consistently. Is probably why you're winning gunfights, not because of its actual firepower. So with all of that being said, I think the worst one is the KSP, just because it's not forgiving. If you're able to hit your shots with this, good luck to you and congratulations. You are going to shred everybody because it's a one burst gun in a game that has like 150 health, which is higher than Modern Warfare, where the one burst guns in Modern Warfare weren't as good as they are now, just because of the they're more powerful now, so the health difference is there. The second worst is the Milano. I think is just because of the low fire rate. Again, it's not going to be a very forgiving SMG, and it also had that very strange recoil pattern where you had a cluster and then it moved in another cluster. It's been very hard to predict and very hard to hit shots. Combined with that low fire rate and not as good time to kill, I would say this is the second worst. After this, it kind of comes down to opinion and time to kill. I put the Bullfrog at third best just because of its time to kill. I do enjoy this gun. I know a lot of people like it. I thought it was going to be a lot better on this list. I actually predicted it to be the best SMG, but in my opinion, that is no longer the case just because of this lower time to kill. Down here at about 0.67 seconds versus, the AK and the MP5 at like sub 0.6 seconds. So with that being said, MP5 second best, same thing, just kind of following the time to kill. And finally, in my opinion, and based on everything we've looked at today, I think the AK-74U is going to be your meta SMG. It is 4 shots to kill up close, which is faster than both the Bullfrog and the MP5 at 5 shots to kill up close. It also has a pretty fast fire rate considering how powerful it is. 38 damage per bullet, leading to that 4 shot to kill up close, and it has one of the better fire rates at 700 rounds per minute. It's way better than Milano, and it still competes with these others, except it is a lot stronger. But with all that being said, I think any of the top 3 can be competitive. I think that the AK-74U, however, has the best time to kill by a pretty significant margin, being this yellow line up here, making that one the best SMG in my opinion. Anyway, comment down below what you were surprised by this, what your favorite SMG is, what you want to use now, and what you've used before. Thank you guys. I plan on doing a video like this for all the other class setups. I think the next one is the only one left really is going to be the LMGs and the TAC rifles. I'll probably do that one in the same video maybe, just because there's only 3 guns in each class for a total of 6 guns, which probably could be done in its own video. Anyway, guys, I hope you really enjoyed this video. If you could do me a favor and like the video, and if you want to stay ahead of the competition get more detailed videos like this. Throw away, you know, I don't put up any opinions or anything like that that aren't supported by facts. You can look at the facts, you can ignore my opinions, but anyway, if you want the facts, subscribe to my channel, be ahead of the competition with Call of Duty. I'll be doing more videos like this, especially when Warzone drops, and analyzing which gun is the best. Anyway, guys, thank you for watching this video, and I hope you all have a great day.